with Purple Luffy. So we're going to hop in a call with him and then we'll go through the deck. We'll also talk on the other deck lists because another list got top 8. And then that same weekend at the core regional as well, someone else also got top 8 with Purple Luffy. So we'll talk about that, a bit about the deck and how to pilot it, and then also looking ahead for OP08. So let's go ahead and dive in. So I'm here with Jorge. He just got first place undefeated 8-0. Huge congrats, by the way, with Purple Luffy. Yeah. I absolutely love just the Purple Luffy deck. I wanted to play it, and I put like a lot of time into it, but I just could not figure it out, and I was a very poor player, unfortunately. But yeah, we're gonna go. It is what it is. Like I won't I spent a lot of time. I was like, yeah, I was like, it just wasn't meant for me. So it is what it is, and I think that's a big thing that people like. We all have our own play styles that really work well for us, and this just wasn't one of them, unfortunately. But yeah, let's go ahead, dive into the list. I think the first things that stood out to me when looking here was, of course, the running of Sphinx, also the Sheep's Horn, and the Luffy. If you kind of want to just go into why you opted one to play the deck, and then also the choices for the deck.
You play the Purple Luffy because I feel it's really strong in the black meta. Like it's Magellan is just too good playing against Lucci, against Taxi. I don't know if you call Taxi to the Luffy Black Yellow
Yeah, BY. We call it Taxi
and
Luffy, uh-huh.
the ST40 that is good too. I feel this deck is literally the best deck in format. Really, I feel like that because in 8.0 without law is just too strong. Things is because just because I like it. Better than Apple is 4-6K, same thing, and the Shiphorn is against Taxi too because some games I lost against Taxi while testing, and it really feels like we need to use rest a Sabo to win the game sometimes. So Shiphorns help me with that, and Secret Luffy too is like again against Taxi too. It makes a better game. Unfortunately, it doesn't play against any Taxi in the tournament because I was kind of prepared for the match because it's not too easy to handle, but it's favorite to the Luffy. So that's why I bring that.
Gotcha. Yeah, you also get arguably the best card is the Trafalgar Law. I think the biggest thing people sleep on is if you put your opponent to 9 cards and you have 8 Dawn, you can play 2 of these and put them down to 5. I've been that guy more times than I care to admit, where I just take a life and then they put me at 9 and they spit out 2 of these, and I just lost so much value and momentum that's devastating and so hard to come back from.
Yeah, that. I don't really play the law in any in any play match. I think because I feel like it's more like a bait in in the deck. Like it's 1K counter, it's blocker, doesn't it's not bad in at all. But I feel you don't usually play it. It's only because I discard it when my opponent attack, and they always 6 card in hand, trying to avoid the law, and that's why I play it. I don't even play it. I think I don't play it in any match,
Got it.
but I counter too much with him, and my opponent have to play around him.
Fair enough.
Um,
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, just the threat of it alone, just like pudding. Like if you're playing against blue, just the threat of it alone changes how you have to play. But yeah, so with that, after your run, looking ahead, is there anything in your list that you would change, or any cards that you think could be taken out and replaced by something else?
yeah. I think the Secret Luffy doesn't help me too much. I really draw only one game and discarded for a 0-3K and the Young Jet Gallery, and don't even play it in all tournament. And I feel the third mom is gonna be really good. I really like the Charlotte Lin because it gives you some advantage in games when you have to take the risky damage and get 2 lives or 1 life with this deck, and it's so risky, and you can uh, make the situation better with the Lin Lin. So I definitely change that card, the secret Luffy, for the third Lin Lin, but everything seems perfect. Like I don't even change any other card.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, definitely, Magellan. I've had a couple. Somebody was playing Reiju, and in it they played Magellans, and they just dropped 2 Magellans on me. I was playing ST14 Luffy. I didn't even see 10 Dawn because it's like the
Yeah,
Magellan. Either you have to answer it and you just don't see 10, or it just applies an insane amount of pressure. And then of course
exactly.
Lin Lin is just a new great addition because you get to one, gain a life, and so you take a little bit of that pressure off. But then on top of that, you also get to potentially answer a body and tuck it into life, which is also just fantastic.
Exactly. It's too good against yellows too, because this list is against black mostly. I really prepared to play against black mostly every match, but it's Lily is too good against yellow because so many people think the match against category or NL is just too good like the older times, but it's like 50-50 both of them, and the K card in yellow matches is Lilin actually because you can win a life and Kiku the last life against category, but which is the hardest 10 NL, but and it's a big body to hit an L without using any downs. So it's really important against yellow.
Got it. Love that. Yeah. Now, for those who are wanting to play potentially like Purple Luffy, when you're going, like, what's your ideal start? Do you prefer going first or second? And then, like, what is the ideal hand, or what are you mulliganing for?
Yeah, all depends of the match. Like against black, you're always gonna go second and play 2 Megallons in a row. That's the perfect start against any black deck. And against yellow is like you have to go first, and yellow or Nami, because you have to play ulti page one and then a Magellan, or just drop a 4-6K and ramp again to Poly and go the double five or Big Mom or Kaido, depends on the situation. But mostly against every deck you're gonna go first, but black is the only deck you always choose second, because this deck doesn't matter if go first or go second. It has good hands. Like, but the deal is you prefer always your opponent play in their bad curve, because your curve is always good.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, that's how I used to play Ace. It was a very everybody wanted to go first format, so I really just built my deck to go second, and it just thrived because then everybody gave me what I wanted, and everybody got what they wanted. But what I got wanted was better. But yeah, so yeah, and of course again Magellan just nasty against everything. Now for like a rogue matchup, what do you think is like the ideal like generic hand? Like you're keeping this hand no matter what.
Yeah, generic match is Sphinx or page one. 4-6K is really important in the first match, in first hand, by going first. Poly is the K card in every match because they kill something and ramp to go to 10. And then it's good to drop double Magellan in 10 downs. Double Queen is good too. Drop a Mom is good too. Kaido isn't that good because you lost a lot of down. If you can't play a poly again, you get to I don't know how to say it in English. It's Slovak in English, so but you have to play poly again if you
You're
do
just too
Kaido.
far behind, right?
Yeah, far behind it. That's the word.
Yeah.
And that the important thing is most of the time you wanna double five cost in 10 dons or Big Mom. Kaida is so many special situations that that's not bad at all, but it's not that good like the other options.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, no. And then, yeah, would love to take a look because actually, during that same event, funny enough, Sebastian Cortez also saw
Yeah, it's a
top.
Chilean too. It's a friend.
Oh, got it. Yeah, I was just about to ask you if that was a friend of yours because he also got 8th place, so secured that top 8 spot with his version of Luffy, which is a bit different. Of course, opting for Scratchman Apua over the Sphinx, but he's also running Hitokiri, and then also opted for the 7/9s, in where, of course, Charlotte Smoothie will usually see Urashima, and then, of course, still also rocking that one Sheep's Horn. Was wondering, did you guys both, like, work together on the deck? Do you think, like, in terms of Smoothie, was it, like, not the play? Like, I know 7/9 is just a beast to deal with, especially, like, if you play it out as early as Luffy lets you, and it gives you a nice play on that curve. And then, of course, this one just kind of lets you KO a 2 cost or less. I'm not sure how much that came up outside of possibly, like, Zoro.
Yeah. I didn't even play with Sebastian. I know him, but I don't even test with him. We bring the same deck by, I don't know.
By accident, yeah.
Yeah,
Coincidence.
it's really funny because they have another top 8 with same deck as me. When I won my first regional of my life with Zoro, he plays Zoro too and get eight. I don't know, 8th place.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
got the 8th place again too. So we play the same deck. Both times I won, they got the 8th place with the same deck. It's kind of crazy.
That's actually crazy.
I test so much the 7/9 cost because I feel it's a beast, how you say it. But I really wanna beat the black decks because it's the meta, and it's too bad against black deck because you play it is simply as an Ice Age and they gone, and you lose every all the turn. Is way better hit 7 and play a 5 cost if it is a male, and too much better. If it's a queen, if it's a kid, it's not too bad, but it feels really better than a 7/9 against black in general.
Got it. That makes sense, yeah, because just almost any card, if it doesn't generate you value, like black just removes it in 1 turn, that you just lose your whole turn. So that makes sense. And then, of course, we also have from Core TCG, which was absolutely crazy. Again, like, and pulling up really strong, too. They got, Jeff got 6th place with this list. Again, a bit different, opting for both Bond Clay and Miss All Sunday for just that extra bit of ramp. And then a lot of one-ups. You see Urashima, Eustace, Captain Kidd. Still, of course, I think Linlin is just super good. Going OP09, I think you can play like 4 of this just because it's just that good. But yeah, what are your thoughts as far as like running potentially, like they did it as a one-up, but they did Bond Clay and Miss All Sunday?
It's first time seeing this list actually, but I test Missile Sunday. I don't like it at all. It feels good when you trigger it in last turns. It's really good, but it's way better the Sala because it's a 2K counter mostly of the time, and you can trigger it in the last life too. I am playing so much with this deck. I think this is the most time I dedicate to a deck to play in a tournament. And I feel like Nico Robin is not good, Bonkley is not good, Urashima is not good, Captain Kid is not good, but they play all for one. It's like use a tech card because maybe it's worth in sometimes. I don't feel playing a card by one is that good, but isn't that bad too. So a lot of people ask me why I don't play Bonkley because I play my deck so way more aggressive than and I don't want to ramp and just play big bodies. I'm just gonna set up the board and then play big bodies. And so Bonkley doesn't let me push your life or discard your hands when with without anything in the board. Like that's why I don't like it. And the same thing with the 7 costs. Against black is just too bad. And Robin is a card I really like, but it doesn't fit at all in my deck.
I got you. Yeah, and I mean, purple has such a big toolbox. I think that's probably why they opted for like one ofs. It's kind of why I go for one ofs because like okay, I can make room for like one. I think the biggest thing, of course, is like that we go for is consistency, and that's why we just opt for not. Like I know it's better to have more consistency across the board than to have like situationally good cards, and that's of course player preference. But I think just like statistically speaking, it's just slightly better, but sometimes luck just has their way and you can put yourself in a position to get lucky. Of course, Sunday, I know like people started running it in law. It does, the value it creates is just so good. And then of course, that trigger, you get the same thing though. You're running this double finger, which it's a slightly weaker body, but if you need to, you trigger it, you get that body. It can help you push for game. With that in mind, what do you think is like the best matchup for Purple Luffy? Like the best, like you want to see these?
The deck I see if I win no matter what is ST14 Luffy. It's used too easy. I remember in the 6th round I play against a friend, Matias Castro, that got third in the tournament, and they draw literally perfect. They Ice Age Brook, Sanji. Every turn they destroy everything I put in the board, and I'm still gonna win because deck is used too easy against Purple Luffy. That's why I know a lot of people in Brazil is playing it's looking for Italians decks. So I know ST14 is gonna be the most played deck. And the past Sao Paulo tournament was Nami the most played deck, and this is used too good against Nami too. So having the most played deck, the two most played decks, good matchup, I say yeah, Purple Luffy is the call for sure.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. And then what do you think is like your worst matchup?
Uh, I think Sorrow, but it's too rogue. So I'm gonna say Bonnie with the good decks. The worst match in the good of the good decks is Bonnie, because I lose against Belovetti, I lose against Sorrow, but it's too rogue. Like if I'm gonna play against a good deck, I'm gonna say Bonnie is the worst match.
Got it. And is that just because Zoro and their purple just doesn't have the answer
Yeah,
to
it's
that?
used too fast now. I can even handle it.
Got it. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, and then of course they get to slow you down on your roll. Well, perfect. Well, let's go ahead if you don't mind. Just like looking ahead to 8.5. This was kind of like a list I had put together. This one, of course, I don't think you have to focus on all the new support, but you get the new Luffy, the new
Yeah,
Searcher Zoro, Sanji, and then of course the Luffy can spit out the Sanji or Zoro any Straw Hat, and
exactly.
then a blocker Nami that lets you cycle in the same way as Queen, and then Usohachi, which I think is like looking to OP09. Obviously, this is like one of the best cards Purple gets because it lets you rest Sabos for a low cost, uh,
Exactly.
and then also cost of 3. But with this in mind, do you think OPO 8.5 Luffy has the opportunity to be relevant there? I know it saw a small amount of success in Asia at the time, but then of course they also had Law there. But now, of course,
Yeah,
Doflamingo argue and Taxi Luffy being the best decks in the format, I think those will be the most represented. How do you feel on?
yeah, exactly as you said. It's Taxi and Duffy gonna be the best decks in format. I test so much in 8.5. I prefer to not put the Luffy cost 7 until the next vanilla 46K comes out in OP09. This out an Usopp. It's not good in 8.5. I test with Sorrow, that's a searcher, that's used to good. All 2K counters can be Straw Hat too, and it's really important too. But I don't feel you can do anything against Duffy. Duffy's just too strong, too fast, and even if you draw perfectly like Sorrow, Polly, the next turn you can mom something, Kaido, clean out the board. Duffy is always fastest as you, and you can they can clean your board with a law and early turns when you play the Sorrow, and it's no counter card in your hand. It's very really hot. And I tested too much with Nestor. Is a Mexican player that is too good. I say play Duffy against me, and I lost like 10-0. Like there's no chance. I know he's a really good player, but if you lose 10-0, something's wrong. You know.
Right, right. No, for sure. I get it. And of course, like, OP OP09, we get a lot more support because with like the release of the BP Luffy, then we also get the new Rush one, and then I believe the Sanji is Rush as
Yeah,
well.
Sanji is really important in this deck. Oh, in OP09, I feel this deck is way more strong because you can put the 7 cost Luffy that comes out now in the new starters decks. But in 8.5 is used to bad, and I don't feel winning against Luffy by any chance. You don't have any chance against Luffy.
Got it, got it. No, fair enough, fair enough. Well, I appreciate you taking the time here today. If there's anything you want to plug, definitely do it. If not, I'll drop his Twitter in here as well. Definitely go follow him. A huge K-pop fan, right? No.
Yeah, K-pop fan. It's his stand. It's the Queens. But yeah, I'm really proud of myself. Like this is the tournament I most prepare of because all people that know me, I got a lot of good results without even test even a bit. But in this year, it's like the game goes even harder and doesn't get the same results without testing. So this time I say, yeah, let's focus, let's play games, let's know how to beat your opponent, and that's the result. I won again, my second regional of my life, and that's all.
Hey, that's all that matters. Mine's next. We're waiting on it, but definitely. Well, thank you so much, and good luck in the rest of your events
Yeah,
as well.
thanks you for the interview.
Absolutely.